Welcome back to another typical PNW Guy YouTube video. Today I want to talk about honestly, my favorite pistol I've ever owned, and it also happens to be my first one, so maybe I'm a little biased because it was my first one, but it's also the pistol I have literally the most rounds through, period, end of story. Nothing comes close. Actually, is the firearm I also have the most round with ever. So bought this for I don't even know 15 plus years ago. Bought it used at an antique store that had like this man cave that had a whole bunch of guns that they sold. Um, it was like 99 bucks or whatever. I think out the door it was like around 120. Anyways, so came with one mag. Uh, just bought it used, had a ton of rounds through it then, put even more rounds through it afterwards over the years. And as you can see, it is a Bersa. Now, this is a Thunder 380 model, and it happens to be their most popular model. They came in a couple different calibers. So as you can see, the mag also says 380, but they came in 22, 380, 9 mil, and I think, don't quote me on this because I've seen mixed things about it, but also 40 cal. Granted, the 380 was definitely the most popular, and this specific all matte black was the finish that they also sold the most of, because you could get, I can't remember if it's nickel or polished slide and or frame. And then later on, they, Bersa kind of did their thing trying to stay relevant, even though they weren't, because they decided to stay with single stack, kind of like the 1911s. So they started manufacturing in, according to the internet, 95. And this specific one was made in roughly December of 2006, according to Eagle Imports, who imported Bersa into the United States because it is a Argentinian company. Now, because this one is pre 2000, I think 8, it does have a different importer on it who also really, really like to engrave their crap. Eagle Imports came in right after that and stopped doing that, so the newer ones do look a little bit more classy. But it's not here nor there. But if you are saying, hey, that gun kind of looks familiar, well, that is probably because it looks like the James Bond gun, the PPK, because it is a freaking clone of it, like almost to the T. Now, Bersa's market was to come to the United States and provide a smaller slash compact firearm that was easy to shoot, very, very easy to maintain, and was half the price of its competitors. So if you look at the PPK, it's like 600-ish and up, I think. Last time I looked at it, which was like a couple years ago. You can still get this exact model for $249.99 was the cheapest I could find, the matte black. So that's like high point territory, but you're getting a way better firearm. So let me show you around it. So as you can see, the grips are a little bit ergonomical. These ones are pretty worn down, so the texturing and everything is not as aggressive. But literally one screw that pops off. It has the mag release right here. It's got the slide release. It's got a safety, which also, as you saw, pulls the hammer back and is a hammer block. Now, another cool feature is that also decocks it. So if this is down, you can watch it pulled the trigger back. Does that, resets it all. Now, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I haven't seen on too many firearms, but you can literally put a little key thing on it, which I don't have and I don't care to, but you can put that in fire or safe, which also makes it to where the trigger is dead. But with the magazine out of it, it literally, you can't fire it even if there's a round in the chamber. So that's kind of cool, but it's very 90s technology on this whole thing. Now you can see wear marks. The slide finish is pretty worn down. And then I did color fill back when color fill was, guess, cool. I say that with air quotes because I highly regret it. It's got the checkering on the top of the slide, white dots, which I have had to have touched back up. Now this thing has like 16,000 rounds through it, and the only thing that I've done to it is clean it like every 7,000. And then I did have to replace the recoil spring, which I got from Eagle Imports, and I want to say it was like $25 shipped. So no big deal. But you can also see the trigger bar. You can see how it moves. You got the takedown lever. And the cool thing about the takedown lever is the slide, it comes back, but then it has to go up and out. And then same thing in reverse. So it's not like a normal Glock where you pull it back, or Smith & Wesson where you pull it back, you pull the thing, you pop the trigger, and it goes forward to come off. No, it actually has to come back up off the rails and out. And let me show you. So this is how it looks right before you pull it off. And then this is how it looks after you pull it off. And then you can see how the barrel is fixed to the frame. Don't know the real reasoning behind it, but I guess it's kind of cool. Serial number is also on the frame in case you need a frame or a barrel divorce. I don't know what else to call it. Slide is pretty simple on the inside. I've never taken it down past this. I've never needed to. And you can see the rear sight is adjustable. Front sight, I don't know if it is or isn't. Don't care. It's always been very accurate. I learned how to shoot on this pistol. So honestly, it was always more accurate than me because, well, as a new gun owner and shooter, you're not that good. But the barrel length is 3.54 inches. The overall width of the pistol is 1.3 inches. And overall length, that is talking from the back of the beaver tail, which actually is extremely comfortable and nice, all the way to the front of the slide, which is that little ring, is 6.6 inches. And it is an alloy frame with a steel slide. Sorry, I'm giving you guys some stats off of the old Wikipedia. And they all were single stack, like I mentioned before, so you will never find a double stack. And if you look at the bottom, they totally could have. It's just kind of like the 1911s, how they pretty much have the same size frame, but they were able to do some wizardry and get them double stacked. It's a single double action trigger, which, very, very common, especially for mid-90s, early 2000s guns. Like I said, they are made in Argentina. They are imported still to this day. Overall weight with a dry mag is supposedly 20 ounces, but this thing is a little on the heavier side. It honestly weighs, I want to say, a little more than my Glock 19 Gen 3s. So there's that. That's also why I don't EDC this. Besides, it only holds 7 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. Then let's see. Oh, cool fact. The Ecuadorian Air Force uses these still to this day. They have for like 20 years, whatever. But it is kind of cool how they all of them have the pinky rest, and it honestly fits up really nice. And honestly, the grip to me would be too small if it weren't for the mag lips. Now, mags for these are kind of hard to get, and hard to get with when they're reliable. Um, they had a lot of QC. They honestly had more QC issues with the mags than they did with the pistols. So it came with this one, and I tried buying a couple Bersa branded ones. None of them worked out. The springs were too tight, too loose, gave feeding issues. And again, the only time I ever bought a Pro Mag and it worked was for the Bersa. So that's kind of sad, but you know, it is what it is. But for 250 bucks, I think they go up to 350 for colors, and there's like a combat model that has, you know, fancy grip, and I think maybe a laser in it, and it's like OD green. They have teal, they got purple, they have where all the controls and the trigger are gold. Like they are what they are. They're a knockoff PPK. Walter really isn't popular for the PPK anymore because it's not the 90s. So therefore the Bersa isn't, because those that wanted PPK but didn't want to spend the money bought these. I just saw this. I loved it. It was by far in my budget. And, you know, here we are. So let me know, what was your first pistol? Put that in the comments below. I am really curious to know. This is mine. I absolutely love it. I actually sold this thing, and I just got it back. I went to the pawn shop, and I regretted selling it. I sold it a couple months ago, and it didn't sell. So, yes, I had to pay more than what I obviously had it sold to me, or I sold them. So I did just buy this back for $155, and then, you know, all the state fees and whatever. But yeah, live and learn. Don't sell something that you're attached to emotionally, and also that you're gonna regret. So technically I bought this pistol twice because I loved it that much. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, definitely comment, like, subscribe, share, and I hope this finds someone's fancy tickled, because this pistol, like I said many times, absolutely love it, and I promise I will never sell it again. As always, peace out. Brownells is my channel sponsor. BOP10 saves you some money on most orders over $150. Get you some of that. Until next time, I'm out.